Whispers of the Red Lantern. Japan is a country rich with folklore, its quiet streets hiding stories older than time. But some stories, some whispers, should never be followed. Kenji learned this the hard way. The Invitation. Kenji was a university student in Tokyo, obsessed with urban legends. He had read every horror story on online forums, the Kisaragi Station, the Tekateak, the Okiku doll, but he never truly believed in them. They were just stories, right? That was until one night, when he received a message from an unknown number. Come see the Red Lantern. Midnight. Nakamura Alley. Kenji frowned. He had never heard of the Red Lantern before. He searched online, but nothing came up. Just as he was about to ignore it, his phone buzzed again. Bring a friend. You don't want to go alone. Something about the message unsettled him. But curiosity gnawed at him. Big mistake. Nakamura Alley. Kenji convinced his best friend, Daiki, to go with him. It's probably just some underground club or a prank, Kenji said. Daiki wasn't so sure. If we end up on the news as missing persons, I'm haunting you. They arrived at Nakamura Alley just before midnight. It was an old, forgotten part of the city, narrow streets, wooden houses with peeling paint, and a feeling of being watched. Then they saw it. At the end of the alley, a single red lantern hung outside an old tea house. Its glow pulsed faintly, like a dying heartbeat. But there was no door. No windows. Just the lantern. Daiki hesitated. Let's go back. Kenji smirked. What? Scared of a lantern? He stepped forward, and the ground beneath him vanished. The other side. Kenji landed hard, the wind knocked out of him. He gasped, pushing himself up, only to find himself in a completely different place. The alley was gone. He stood in a dimly lit street, lined with hundreds of red lanterns, stretching endlessly into the darkness. The air smelled of incense and decay. The silence was wrong, not peaceful, but expectant, like the entire world was holding its breath. Daiki was nowhere to be seen. A whisper floated through the air. Kenji, you came. He spun around. The lanterns flickered. Shadows moved within them, figures shifting, watching. His phone buzzed. Unknown number, don't turn around. Kenji's blood ran cold. His hands trembled as he typed. Kenji, who is this? Where am I? A pause. Then. Unknown number, if you turn around, they will know you see them. Something breathed behind him. Warm. Damp. Close. Kenji clenched his jaw, forcing himself not to turn. The whispering grew louder. He sees us. He sees us. He sees us. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number, walk. Do not stop. Do not run. Kenji moved forward, legs shaking. The lantern swayed as if something unseen was brushing against them. The shadows inside grinned. Ahead, a torii gate loomed. Ancient, weathered, its wood splintered with age. Beyond it, he saw another alley, the real world. He was almost there. Almost. Then he heard it. Daiki's voice. Kenji, help me. He froze. Daiki's voice came from behind him. The phone buzzed violently in his hand. Unknown number, that is not your friend. Do not turn around. But it sounded just like him. Kenji, please. I can't get out. Kenji's breathing became ragged. His best friend was trapped here. He couldn't just leave, could he? His fingers twitched. And then. A cold hand grabbed his shoulder. The red lantern's price. Kenji screamed. The touch was wrong, like cold silk and too many fingers. The lanterns burst into fire. Shadows rushed toward him, arms stretching, faces smiling too wide, eyes hollow and hungry. He lunged for the torii gate. The moment he passed through, the world snapped. And he was back. The alley was normal. The single red lantern flickered dimly, swaying in the wind. The old tea house was gone. But Daiki was nowhere. Kenji collapsed, gasping. His phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number, you should have left sooner. Daiki was never found. His face appeared on missing persons posters. His parents grieved. But Kenji knew the truth. Somewhere, beyond the red lanterns, Daiki was still calling his name. Still waiting. And every night, Kenji could hear him whisper. "Kenji, why did you leave me?"